Hi! Welcome back, friends, to Nanny Jen's Storytime Couch. I have two books to read today. The first book is called I Was a Second Grade Werewolf by Daniel Pinkwater. We're going to find out what happens when a little boy woke up one day and was a werewolf. But stick around after because I have Rufus, the bat who loved colors, to read right after it. And at the very end, we're going to talk about some fun bat facts and the fundraiser that I have where you can win a bat of your very own. Stick around.
When I woke up in the morning, I saw that the backs of my hands were covered with hair. I looked in the mirror. My face was all hairy too. My nose was different. I had long, sharp teeth. I knew what had happened. I have turned into a werewolf, I said. Neat. My mother called me to breakfast. I wonder what they'll say when they see that I'm a werewolf, I thought. They didn't say anything. Breakfast was the same as it was every day. I ate cereal, orange juice, milk, my little brother's plastic cup with a picture of a spaceman on it. Nobody said anything special. Lawrence, stop snarling at your sister, my mother said. I walked to school with the usual bunch of kids. I thought someone would say something. I thought someone would notice that I was a werewolf. Nobody did. I walked part of the way to school and ran part of the way on all fours. I got there ahead of my friends. My teacher is Mrs. Pac-Man. I was sure she would say something. She's very strict. Mrs. Pac-Man didn't say anything. I sit in the back of the room. Maybe she didn't see me. I bit the shoulder of the girl who sits in front of me, Loretta Parsnip. Mrs. Pac-Man, Lawrence Talbot bit me, Loretta Parsnip said. Now she'll notice, I thought. I'll bet she screams. Lawrence, behave yourself, Mrs. Pac-Man said. That's all. I was getting mad. Why was everyone pretending not to notice that I had changed into a werewolf? I ate a pencil. Mrs. Pac-Man read a story to the class. It was about a fuzzy blue bunny. She held up the book to show us the pictures. Who's growling? Mrs. Pac-Man asked. Lawrence Talbot, are you growling? Stop that noise. I ate lunch with my best friend, James Ballpoint. I ate a cardboard milk carton and a Twinkie with the cellophane on it. That's neat, James said. Do you see anything different about me? I asked. Nope, James said. I'm a werewolf, I said. Great, James said. I'm a werewolf too. No, you're not, I said. Why not? Why can't I be a werewolf too? Because I'm a real werewolf. It's not some stupid game. I think you're stupid, James said and walked away. He gets mad like that. I was standing by the iron fence around the school. I bent some of the bars. I walked home by myself after school. I snarled at my little brother and went out into the backyard and squashed a football. I was in a bad mood. I didn't bother to say anything to my family at supper. I just lapped up my food. That night, I climbed out through the window and ran through the streets on all fours. I howled at the moon. I had a pretty good time. The next morning, I looked in the mirror and noticed that I was not a werewolf. Hey! My mother called me to breakfast. Did you have a good night, Lawrence? She asked. Yes, I said.
Everything was back to normal. Nobody had noticed anything. The next time I turn into a werewolf, it will be different. Ow! Do you ever wake up and just feel different? Like today, maybe you're not who you were yesterday? maybe that's what this story is about. I think that pretending that you're a werewolf is a really fun Halloween activity. So I hope all of you take some time out of your day today to pretend to be a werewolf. Our next book by Tommy Ungerer, Rufus, the Bat Who Loved Colors, is a really sweet story about a bat who is nocturnal, which means they sleep during the day and come out at night, which is true about bats. But Rufus decides that he's had enough of that and wants to spend a day out in the sun. So let's find out what happens when Rufus, the bat who loves colors, stays up to see the sunrise.
Rufus was a bat. During the day, he hung from the ceiling of his cave and slept. At night, he left his cave and went hunting. One night, he saw a drive-in theater where a movie was being shown. Rufus had never seen bright colors before, only the gray and black of the night world. He thought it would be nice to see the day with all of its beautiful colors, so instead of going to sleep when morning came, he stayed awake. The sun came up and Rufus watched with enthusiasm. A glorious, color-filled world spread out before him. There were glowing flowers and charming birds. Soon Rufus became dissatisfied with his own dull costume. He found an abandoned palette of paints in a meadow and started painting himself with bright colors. He painted his ears pink, his hooks blue, his feet violet, and he drew a big green star on his stomach. Then he proudly took off into the sunlight. But some people were frightened when they saw Rufus, and they tried to scare him away. Exhausted and wounded, Rufus fell into a garden full of tulips. Luckily, this garden belonged to a famous butterfly collector whose name was Dr. Tarturo. Dr. Tarturo thought that Rufus was a rare butterfly, but when he looked closely, he recognized his mistake. He took Rufus inside and washed the paint off of him. Then he bandaged the bat's wounds and gave him a place to sleep in the cellar. Rufus recovered quickly from his wounds. He and Dr. Tarturo became good friends, but Rufus soon realized that the sun hurt his eyes, and he had to wear dark glasses and swallow pills for his headaches. One day, Rufus and Dr. Tarturo were watching black and white television, and the gray pictures made Rufus homesick for his cave. He said goodbye to Dr. Tarturo and flew home.
But Dr. Tarturo and Rufus remained good friends. Often, after the sun had gone down, Rufus would come visit Dr. Tarturo and hunt night moths for his collection, and this made them both very happy. That was really fun. I thought it might be fun to learn a few interesting facts about bats. I started with bats that live in the area that I live in, so Massachusetts. The most common bat here is the brown bat. It used to be the little brown bat, but so many of them got sick that now the bat you see more often is the large brown bat. The large brown bat and the little brown bat both come out at night to eat insects. You can sometimes see them if you take a walk near trees at dusk. You can hear their signature sound, which is them using echolocation, which is the same thing that dolphins and whales use underwater. Basically, they send their sound out and they wait for it to bounce off of objects in the air, whether it be insects that they might want to eat or trees or buildings that they don't want to fly into. And the sound bounces back and they hear it with their giant ears and their sensitive nose so that they don't bump into stuff even though it's dark out. Bats are mammals, and they are the only mammal that can fly. They fly like birds do. They are better at flying, actually. They don't have feathers. Their bat wings are made out of skin, and they have finger-like appendages in their wings that makes it much easier for them to maneuver in the air. So they move through the air a lot easier. They are able to spin and dip and hover much easier than birds do. The way a bird's wing works is they have the arm with a finger at the end, and the rest is just feathers. On a bat, their fingers come through the wing here. So they're able to really move their whole wing the way that you would move your hand. So if you were going to pretend to fly like a bird, you might do this. And if you were going to pretend to fly like a bat, you might do this. Bats hang upside down most of the time. They can't walk around the way that birds or people do. So even when they're eating or drinking, or when the mommy bats are cuddling their little baby bats, they do it upside down. If we tried to hang like a bat for too long, all the blood would rush to our head and we would get so dizzy. But it might be fun to try it just so you can see how the world looks to a bat. What? It's pretty funny upside down. I don't know how my hat stays on. If you see a bat in the wild, make sure you give it space. Just like any other wild animal, it is important to leave them alone. If the animal, a bat or any other wild animal, looks like it needs help, tell an adult. They can call a wildlife rehabilitation center near them and get that animal the help they need. But it is important that you do not touch wild animals. They need their own space to be safe, and so do we. Okay, that's all our fun facts about bats for today. I do have one more important thing to talk about, and that is a fundraiser that I am hosting to benefit the Bat World Sanctuary in Texas. And what I'm going to do is raffle off the book we read today, Rufus, the Bat That Loves Colors, the book we read last week, Bats at the Library, and Periwinkle, the cutest little blue bat that's also a slap bracelet. It can live on your arm, it could live on your bedpost. I have one that lives on my refrigerator door handle just because it's cute and I love it. Tell me that's not cute. And these could all be yours. If you just donate $5 to the Bat World Sanctuary, I will list their website in my description. And if you take a screenshot and email it to me at storytimecouch@gmail.com. I will also have the fundraiser details posted on my Instagram, which is storytimecouch, and you can send me the screenshot there. Every $5 that you donate is an entry, so donate as much as you want. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming. I had so much fun today. I love bats. I hope that you do too. See you next time.